It never was for me. It's not morning anymore.
Alright. I know we didn't finish. I don't remember much else than that. So, I'm pretty sure we talked about some properties. You know what? Before I even go on to the properties, if I took 3 to the 4th times 3 to the 5th, what do I do?
You would do 3 to the power of 9. You're adding the 4 and the 5 together.
Okay. We had our product of powers property that says whenever I multiply exponents, if they got the same base, just add the exponents. Because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of them here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them there. Altogether, I got 9 of them. Okay? Oh, wait. Plus 5 is 9. There we go. Y'all, I'm tired. I'm going to do a lot of dumb today. I really am. Had to put the, oh yeah. Had to put the sink back in our bathroom last night. And that was a bad decision because then I remembered at like 9 o'clock at night I had to make 2 quizzes for today. So, oops. See, y'all, you're young. It's okay if you're up a little bit late. You're going to wake up at like 8:03, throw on whatever's on the pile, and then come to school. At least some of you. Okay? I know in high school that was mine. I lived 20 miles away from my high school. Class started at 8:15. My alarm was set for 7:45. Wake up, throw on whatever's on the pile. Mountain Dew, Pop-Tarts. Of course, this was northeast North Dakota where it's flat as a tabletop and all the roads are laser straight. So those county roads, oh yeah, 90, 95, gravel, bad decisions. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's how you end up dead. What if I have that same exponent raised to an exponent? No, someone else. What's up? What's up?
U times the exponent.
Okay, an exponent raised to an exponent. What you're saying is I have 5 of these. And if I'm going to take 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, well, why don't I just say 5 times 4? So that is 3 to the 4 times 5, which is that many of them. Okay? What if there's more than one thing in those parentheses? What if I have like 3x squared to the 4th? Kev?
Multiply 3x by 4 by power to the power of 4 and then add 2.
Kinda. You're like there. Okay? Remember mathematical opera, everyone gets that 4, right? The 3 is going to get the 4. Well, what exponent is on the 3 right now?
X. Oh, no.
Exponent. What's up here?
2.
No. That 2 is only touching x, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, if there were a set of parentheses right here, then the 3 would also be getting the 2. That's what this property is all about. No. There's a little invisible 1 right there. Kind of like, you all remember that from last year, right? If I just see an X, what number is in front of it?
1.
What number's under it?
1.
All that stuff is there, we just don't write it.
Let's see 1 is over 1.
Okay? That's just going to be X. We don't write it because it's not necessary. So there's a little invisible 1 right here. So they all get that exponent. This is a 1 times 4. This is a 2 times 4. They both get it. That's what's going on. Okay. And then we actually have to clean that up and call it 3 to the 4th and x to the 8th. You know, as I'm doing all of these, I was just using 3 and leaving the exponent. What is 3 to the 4th? Where's your calculator? You should have out at the beginning of every class. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 9 is 81. 4 3s. Okay. Then I could call that a 81x to the 8th. So we get all these different problems. What about, oh no, we didn't do divide yet, did we? No, we haven't done that. Okay. So we got some properties here. Did we start the guided practice? I don't remember.
No.
I know we did the examples. Did we get into the guided practice? I don't remember. I'm asking you.
We were right up at the simplify each explanation.
We are on page 11.
Were we down here?
Yeah, we're on page 12.
So we just finished this. Okay. All right, cool.
We're on page
Oh, yeah, that's right. Then someone had to make me do one of them, right? Kevin made me do 9. And we said that 0 is only touching what?
The B.
Only the B. There's no parentheses to group them together. So it's a 12 times a B to the 0, which is 1. Okay, yep. Now it's clicking. All right. Oh, no, none of that. We're going to start with, it's only fair. It's been a while. Y'all make me do another one, just to make sure. Who we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we'll go you with you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, Chloe, which one do I have to do? The dice have spoken. Which one do I have to do? You tell me which one I do. One more to review before I set you loose on the rest. 12? Okay. On 12, who's getting the 3? That 3 exponent is smashed up on what? Shane. Oh. H is in between them. That would be like me saying you're hugged up on Damien. Well, no, Landon's in between you. Okay.
No thanks.
Well, he seems like a nice guy. Okay. So the 3 is only touching the H. But where's the 2 going? Look at what the 2 is touching. Parentheses. So if the 2's touching the parentheses, mathematical Oprah, everyone's getting that. So the 2 is going to go here, 4 to the 2nd. The 2 is also going to go here, but what do I do with an exponent? Raised to an exponent that we just talked about. Exponent raised up to an exponent. Do I add them? Do I multiply them? What do I do? We just did these. We just did an example like it, and it's also on the first page of section 1-2. Come on, y'all. I said to caffeinate yourselves. It's got to be someone between ping and pong that, like, it can't just be the 2 that are engaged. Come on. Y'all. All right. I'm just going to sit here until someone besides them figures it out. I just said it. Thank you. You looked back at your stuff and you found one that looked like it and it said, hey, multiply these.
You
deleted it.
I moved it. Oops. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, close enough. So, you get a 2. You also get a 2. And I multiply those. So riddle me this, Batman. What is 4 squared? 4 to the second. 4 by 4. Squared by itself, right? 16. And that's why we're practicing with these. Okay? H to the 3 times 2. 3 times 2 is 6. Okay, so I did those ones. Not you. You. There you go. I did those ones. You get going on the other 4. Argue it out with your neighbors. You can work together. Go back and look at your other stuff. See, where is there a problem that looks like the one I'm staring at right now? Okay, do what they did. Go. You got four problems. That's it. I need you to practice. Yay! I don't like this. Come on now. I did some. You do some. Take turns.
You okay?
Cool. Y'all, you have 3 teachers in the room. Do not just stare at it blankly. It ain't going to do itself. If you're not sure, ask. There you go. Okay. Okay. Some of these might actually combine multiple things.
The 2 times the 3 or something like that?
Yep, they took the 4 and the 3 and they put those together. So they're going to take these 2 and put them together. So what happens when you take x squared times x to the 3rd? If I get those numbers out of there.
It would just be 1 times 1.
Well, yeah, the coefficients, the 3 and the 4, we already took those out. So now just look at this.
So it'd be 2 times 3.
No, come back here and say, where do I see exponent times exponent? Right here. What did they do?
Add on to like the same.
They added the exponents. So you add the exponents. 2 plus 3. Now, clean both of them up. What's 3 times 4?
12.
Mm-hmm. And 2 plus 3. Oh, x to the 5th. See? The constant part, the variable part. So after it, you put x to the 5th. It's 12 x to the 5th.
So, x. Oh,
No, just like these ones. There you go.
okay.
Okay. Done the exact same way. Identical. Okay, there's more asking. I like that. Said you got 3 teachers in here. Does you no good to just stare at it. Just ask.
These things. Just
Yep. It's because kids are too rough on stuff. There's a difference between fidgeting and annihilating. Well, I said that was the one that everyone's going to like the most. Come all the way back here. Where do you see anything to the 0? Anything to the 0. No matter how big and ugly it gets. So this whole to the 0, yoink. Okay, it's like it's the base soldier. It's the goblin. You sneeze at it and it dies. Okay. Okay, you go talk to anyone who's been here before. Go talk to any of the crew who was here last year. The moral of the story is as long as you show up and you do what you're supposed to, follow along. Write down the things we're doing. If you're not sure, ask a question. As long as you do that, it is impossible to fail the class. In fact, it's pretty hard to get anything below C. It's all right there on a platter. But if you just stare at it, nothing's going to happen. Okay? You're not going to meet the knockout hanging out in your mom's basement. Okay? I'm sorry. The supermodel is not just going to show up at your door because you met in an online chat room. It doesn't work that way. You have to do something. Okay? So,
I'm confused. If you times every problem, or it's gonna be different.
each one's got a little bit different flavor. That's why there's different ones up there, so we get practice with all of them. That's also why I like doing so many examples in class before any sort of assignment. I want to do them together. I want us to see every type before you're on your own. So let's try this. First one. What do I do with an exponent times an exponent? It's the 4th time we've seen it in 15 minutes. I add them. And 3 plus 6 is 9, 8 to the 9th. There you go. Y'all, if you're ever stuck on these, no one wants to do this, but it'll always work. If my truck gets stuck, I move snow for myself and like 3 neighbors. Sometimes if the association doesn't do what they're supposed to, I'll at least go do a lap around the whole thing. What happens when my bald highway tires put my truck whoop, just enough in the ditch? I'm stuck. Do I just complain about it? Or do I get out and start shoving?
Get out and start
Okay.
shoveling.
If I'm stuck, you can always write exponents out longhand. I don't want to, but it'll help me get unstuck. I've got 1, 2, 3 A's there. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 A's there. Count up the A's. I got 9 of them. If you do that enough times, you'll learn, well, wait, I could have just added 3 plus 6. It might sink in a little more. If I know that when I go past Billy's corner on that part of her driveway that there's a dip right there, then I know to always take that corner a little bit to the left with my plow so that I don't gouge a huge chunk out of her driveway. Over time, by doing things the hard way, yep. So here they're going to take the number parts, they're called coefficients because they're hugged up on them. They're going to take those out. Okay, what's 3 times 4? Okay, so I got that part of it. Then I take the variable parts and I put them together. Maybe it's hard to see because they jump straight here, but now you're taking x squared times x to the third. Well, that looks an awful lot like what I did right above it. What do I do with the exponents? I add them together because there's 2x's here and 3x's there. 2x's plus 3x's is 5x's. X to the 5th. Okay? Down here, oh, we already did that one. Other side. We did 9 already, 11. Done just like the last one. You take the number parts, the coefficients, you separate those. You say negative 2 times 3, negative 6. And then I take the variable parts and smash those together. Do I have to write them out longhand, or do we see how it's done now?
See how it's done.
Okay. What do I do with 7 and 2?
You multiply.
Add.
Fight!
Add.
Multiply.
Look back at the one right next to it.
Add.
Look at number 10. We added them together, right? Because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them here, and 2 of them there. 7 of them plus 2 of them will give me 9 of them. Okay? Y'all, I want you to answer. Even if you're wrong, we learn things from it. I learn things from being wrong. Believe me, I've been married for 14 years. I learn things from being wrong. And I told you, these ones, I told you you would start loving these every time you run across them, because anything to the 0, no matter how big and ugly, just 1. That's it. It's just 1. So, let's come down to a little bit of a, ooh, I know. Words! And then Satan said, let there be words with math. Okay? The amount of power in watts dispersed through an electrical outlet can be found with the formula P equals I squared times R. I is the current, R is the resistance. Anyone here do any sort of electronics work? Okay. Are you a tear apart computers kind of guy, or a I actually do electrical wiring kind of guy. So, I'm just curious. You're also going to, well, you all were in physical science last year. You remember seeing stuff about current and watts and ohms and all that kind of business, right? So, they tell you the formula. So right there, I don't have to make the formula. They just told me. That's always a bonus. It says a current of 5d cubed is flowing through an outlet with a resistance of 0.5d squared. Find the expression representing the power. We'll come back up here. I'm pretty sure they said something with current and resistance. Which of these variables is current? Just read the sentence again. So I know that the current is going to be this much, but which of these variables is that going to replace? Well, I'm reading again. The formula, P equals I squared R, where I is the current. They told me I is current. It's also right there. And R is the resistance in ohms. It's also right there. So they're telling us, here's a formula, here's the stuff you'll put into the formula. You probably remember that from physical science. There was a lot of that. Here's a formula, put numbers in. Here's a formula, put numbers in. In math, we call it plug and chug. Plug the numbers in, chug through the arithmetic. Or let the calculator do the work for you. So, I'm going to start with, I will replace the I with this thing. And the R with that thing. They said I is 5d cubed. They said R is 0.5d squared. So you replace the I and the R. Replace them. Next to this, off to the side, big letters, giant neon sign, the exclamation point above the side quest's NPC. Okay? Always use parentheses. If you're going to be plugging things in, always use parentheses. I had to cover that with Algebra 2 doing review. Always use parentheses because I swear you are going to screw up negatives and exponents for the rest of your life. I'm the math teacher and I screw them up. That's why they got freaking brownie points off me already. Okay? I just goofed. But if you use parentheses, it helps us from making some of those mistakes. All right. Power of a power property. Over here, who gets that 2? Everybody in there, right? The parentheses. Landon, what is 5 to the second power?
5 to the second power is 25.
Okay. So I'll actually write the 5 to the second part here, and then below that I'll write in as 25. Okay. What about when I take that d to the third to the second? Y'all remember what we do? With an exponent raised to an exponent? Go back and look at the ones we just did. An exponent raised to an exponent. What do I do? Y'all hurting me. Y'all hurting me. I'm hearing both. I want you to discuss it. Which one is it? Go back to the front. Go back to that first page. And where do you see something like this? What do?
They add.
Stop saying that because you're not looking at the front page. They multiplied them. Okay? Thinking I know what's going on and just saying it louder is how we end up in a pandemic for the 3rd school year running. That's d to the 3 times 2, which is d to the 6th. Now, we didn't do anything over here yet, so I'm just going to rewrite that. 0.5 d squared. 0.5 d squared. I haven't done anything there. But I'm following their instructions here. They said use the power of power property. Clean this up. Now, simplify the exponents. Cool, commutative property. Just like numbers 10 and 11, right above this, I'm going to take the number stuff and put it together. 25 times 0.5 is going to go here. And then the d to the 6th and the d to the 2nd is going to go here. That was day one. Commutative property says order does not matter. If order doesn't matter, I'm going to rearrange this thing so that the regular numbers are by themselves, and then the d's are also by themselves. Okay? Now, multiply things. Does anyone off the top of their head know what 25 times a half is? We're a little waffling. All right, ping and pong, what do you think?
17.5. No, not 17.5. It would be 12.5.
Yeah.
12.5. Bust the calculator out and just type it. It doesn't have to be who can do the best mental math.
17.
It doesn't have to be who's the best at mental math. It can be who's got the fastest thumbs in the class.
12.5.
Yep. Y'all, there was a gal. Oh man, my first year here. So what is this, like 7 years now? My first year here. Something Wood. Like Rachel Wood? Was that long ago? Like she was a freshman or a sophomore in class at the time. So I don't know. There was a kid who was in here. Fastest thumbs I have ever seen. That girl lived on her phone. I mean, I would barely ask. Do y'all know what 12 times 12 is? 12.5. Gosh, she's gonna have carpal tunnel when she's older. Like her thumbs were just so fast. You don't have to know this off the top of your head, y'all. I want you using your resources. I want you have the calculator on hand, type the buttons, and go. Okay? But yes, it is 12.5. Let's get some green in here. 12.5. All right. D to the 6th times d to the 2nd. We are now looking at the 11th time that we have done this in a half hour.
Multiply.
When I multiply two exponents of the same base, what do I do with the exponents themselves?
Multiply them.
And we have controversy again. Everyone flip over to the front page. Look for something that looks just like this. We add them. Oh, hey, look, we're looking at it now, and we're just like, oh, yeah, it's right here. Y'all follow the instructions. Don't try to put together that bookcase by yourself. Okay? That is now d to the 8th. Oh, I suppose technically they wanted this one to be the next row. I think they wanted us to say 12.5 times d to the 6 plus 2. I think they wanted that step in there. Now, we don't have to show every single step every single time, but they're going to walk us through kind of baby steps like this because any of you have younger siblings? Cousin in the house, something like that?
Does a nephew count?
Yeah. You've seen those little squirts first start learning to walk. We call it baby steps for a reason. There's a reason that babies don't just get up and start walking around like a horse or deer or something. Instead, they do weird stuff, like they scoot. Or they do barrel rolls. Okay? They do weird stuff first because they have to learn how to take the step and then fall down 20 times. They're going to walk you through like this to make sure, can you see all the steps? And then they'll let go of your hands and let you walk all the way over to the other end of the couch. You can take a look here. Skills, concept, problem solving. Every time we hit this part, that is your assignment. There are 8 problems up here that you have to simplify stuff with exponents. There's a word problem, exactly like the one we just did. Here's a formula. Put crap in formula. Okay? They talk about area. Y'all remember how to find area of a rectangle?
Of what?
Yeah, you take.
Area of a rectangle.
Width times height.
Length times width times height.
That's for volume of an entire box. This is just a rectangle.
Length times
So just length times width. Okay? And then down here we got vocabulary again. You go back to that first page and you write down the vocabulary. That's it. That is what we're doing today. We are going to take care of this. You have time in class to work on it. I told you, I don't want to give work outside of my room. Y'all, you got a lot. You got like 45 minutes to do just this page.
What do we do after?
Well, it depends. I'm betting we're going to have to go through some of it together. Because I'm betting there's going to be a little bit of, right? But, hey, look at that. You got 2, maybe 3rd teacher in the room to ask questions. Not lack of, I didn't know if you were staying or not because you're wandering. So, you work in groups. You can work with one of us. I don't care. I just want you working. Okay? What I'm going to say is, how about like a solid 20, 25 minutes to work on this? Y'all should be done by then. I would like you to use that time to work. We'll see where we're at and maybe go through it together. There you go. That's what we're doing. I'm going to turn that off. We'll just upload a video of the walkthrough later.